The story opens with Millie Calloway arriving at a grand, luxurious home for a live-in housemaid position interview. At the entrance, she meets Nina Winchester, the wife of Andrew Winchester. Nina is taken aback when she reviews Millie's resume and comments. "You have a college degree and seem really sharp. Why are you applying for a housekeeping job?" Millie explains that she enjoys housekeeping work, especially when the family is kind and welcoming, and she'd prefer to work in nice homes like this one. Nina informs her that the position requires living on site. Millie would handle all household chores, cleaning floors, washing dishes, general tidying, and also look after Nina's 7-year-old daughter, Cecilia Winchester. Millie agrees to take on everything. Nina then gives her a full tour of the house, including the kitchen, living areas with the TV room, and all the other spaces. Millie remarks, "Do you actually need a housemaid? The place is spotless already, and only 3 people live here." Nina reveals she's expecting a baby and worries she won't be able to manage the housework as her pregnancy progresses. She asks Millie to keep it confidential from Andrew for now, since she's not entirely certain yet. Next, she shows Millie Cecilia's room, featuring a large dollhouse that displays the whole family inside. Finally, Nina leads Millie to her own quarters, a modest guest room on the upper floor. "Feel free to make it your own and decorate however you want," Nina says. "This is your space." Millie feels genuinely pleased with the room. As she's about to leave, Nina hands her $20, explaining it's for gas and any trouble. Once outside, Millie mutters to herself, "If she digs deeper into my background, she'll figure out who I really am, and this opportunity will slip away." Friends, it's obvious here that Millie is concealing something important. She also mentions to herself that she doesn't usually wear glasses. She put them on just for the interview. The following day, we see Millie freshening up in a restaurant restroom, brushing her teeth and cleaning herself. This reveals she has no permanent home and has been sleeping in her car in a parking lot. She uses the money from Nina to buy a meal. She worries she might not land the job after all. The next morning, police approach her and warn that she can't keep sleeping in her vehicle there. Right then, Nina calls, "You've got the job, come over right away." Millie arrives at the house that evening. No one's at the gate. She encounters Enzo, the family's gardener. Millie asks him to open it, but Enzo simply stares at her without a word. Then the gate opens automatically. Millie enters the house. The front door is unlocked. Items are strewn about and the kitchen is a mess. Nina greets her warmly and explains she's busy drafting a speech for Cecilia's parent-teacher meeting, then heads upstairs. Millie begins tidying up. Soon, Cecilia and Andrew return home. Andrew is unaware a new housemaid has been hired. Nina announces that Millie will be staying with them. Andrew looks surprised and says, "You didn't mention this." Nina replies, "I did, I guess it slipped your mind." Andrew politely welcomes Millie and invites her to join them for dinner. She declines. Later in her room, Millie notices the door doesn't lock from the inside, only from outside, and the window won't open. After some time, Nina brings food, saying Andrew sent it. Millie asks for a key, but Nina promises to find one tomorrow. She also provides a phone for shopping and communication needs. The next morning, Millie oversleeps. The door sticks, frightening her briefly, but it eventually opens. Downstairs, she finds Nina frantically searching and claiming the PTM speech left on the kitchen table is missing. Millie insists she knows nothing about it. Andrew arrives and asks what's wrong. Nina angrily accuses Millie of losing it. We know Millie had nothing to do with it. Andrew comforts Nina with a hug, says he'll attend the meeting with Cecilia, and urges Nina to rest. Afterward, Millie apologizes to Andrew and starts deep cleaning the kitchen. Andrew reassures her she's not to blame and mentions Nina has been stressed lately. Millie assumes it's pregnancy-related mood changes and things will settle. From outside the window, Enzo watches Millie quietly and slips away. When Millie steps out to discard trash, Enzo questions why she's there. She replies she works here, but he leaves abruptly after spotting Nina at the window. While cleaning the bathroom, Millie discovers a fragment of a tooth. Soon after, Nina enters, complains about disliking the other school moms, and instructs Millie to prepare meals in the kitchen while she takes a bath. Millie cooks and Andrew enters, asking what she's making. It's clear Millie is starting to feel drawn to him. Later, with Cecilia, the girl demands juice, but claims the glass is dirty despite Millie's recent cleaning. Cecilia insists on a fresh one. Andrew appears and invites Millie to eat with the family. She declines again and retreats to her room. The scene shifts to Millie browsing Andrew's Instagram. Then Andrew enters with a small cake, gets close and kisses her. But Millie jolts awake. It's only a dream. Still, she's growing attached to him. Nina later delivers the room key and chats briefly before leaving. When Millie tries to head out, Nina questions where she's going. Millie explains it's Saturday, her day off for a meeting. Nina asks what meeting, mentions her own hair salon appointment, and wants Millie to stay with Cecilia. Millie insists she must go. Andrew intervenes, saying let her have the day. He's off and will take Cecilia to the park. The scene changes. Millie actually visits a human services office, not a meeting. We learn she served time. Originally a 10-year sentence, 5 in prison, 5 on parole, released early for good conduct. She's now taking odd jobs to survive. Leaving the office, Nina calls asking her to collect Cecilia from dance class, then hangs up. Millie doesn't know the location, so she searches online, finds options, and arrives at the correct one. As she's about to pick up Cecilia, one of Nina's friends appears, saying Cecilia will stay with her today. Millie explains Nina instructed her to bring her home. The friend calls Nina, who denies it. Millie realizes Nina is lying and quietly departs. Back home, Nina claims she had already told Millie about the sleepover. Millie stays silent. Then Andrew's mother, Evelyn Winchester, arrives with heirloom family dishes for Andrew. Evelyn tells Nina to have Millie dress more appropriately. Night falls. Millie can't sleep upstairs due to the sealed window and lack of air, so she goes downstairs to watch TV. Andrew joins her, saying he can't sleep either. This is his favorite show. They watch together. Smiling, Andrew shares that Nina lost her parents in a childhood house fire, leaving her as the sole survivor. Nina appears, and Andrew says he couldn't sleep. Nina tells Millie to wear proper maid attire starting tomorrow and warns her not to get too close to her husband. The next day, Nina's friends visit. Nina announces her pregnancy. Everyone congratulates her. They plan to confirm with the doctor the following morning. Nina steps out, and her friends gossip. She doesn't look pregnant. Andrew hasn't transferred assets to her name. Divorce would leave her broke with Andrew likely getting custody of Cecilia, and she spent 9 months in a psychiatric facility. Millie overhears and wonders if Nina has mental health issues. The next day, while Nina and Andrew are at the doctor, Millie secretly checks the medicine cabinet. Googling one prescription, she learns it's for a condition causing disconnection from reality. Convinced Nina is unstable, Millie decides to leave. On the phone, she tells someone she'll take any job, she just needs work. Cecilia overhears and asks why she's leaving. Millie brushes it off. Millie plays with Cecilia's dollhouse. Nina and Andrew return. Nina is upset and crying. In the kitchen, Andrew confides in Millie that the doctor confirmed no pregnancy Nina wasn't expecting. He also reveals Cecilia isn't his biological child. Nina had her when they met, but he loves and raises her as his own. Millie feels even more drawn to Andrew. That night she hears a crash downstairs, panics and goes to check. She sees Nina holding a bloody shard of glass. Terrified Nina harmed Andrew, Millie calls him. Andrew appears from behind, takes the glass and shuts the door. The next day, Nina gives Millie new clothes and asks her to book tickets for Saturday. She wants to apologize to Andrew with a dinner date. The scene shifts to Cecilia's dance class, where a woman tells Millie that Nina once left young Cecilia in the bathtub unattended, leading to police involvement and 9 months in a mental health facility. Nina and Cecilia return home. Enzo is in the lot. Millie tries to ask him about the family, but Nina approaches and he leaves. Nina scolds Millie for booking the wrong date. Saturday was Cecilia's school camp. Money will come from her pay. Andrew overrides it, saying no deduction. The next day, Nina and Cecilia leave for camp. Andrew and Millie are alone. Andrew says the tickets are booked. Millie should go with a friend. She admits she has none. Andrew offers to take her. They go out, dance, dine with drinks, book separate hotel rooms. But Millie sees angry texts from Nina firing her. Tearfully, she tells Andrew. He promises to handle it. In an emotional moment, they grow close. Morning comes. Andrew says they should head home. Nina might be back. At home, Andrew kisses her and leads her to his room. Later, Nina returns. Millie cooks while Andrew fixes a light. At lunch, Nina reveals she knows Millie served 5 years in prison. Andrew is stunned. Millie is terrified. Yet Nina lets her use the car for shopping. Outside, Millie meets Nina's friend who mentions iPhone location tracking. Millie realizes Nina tracked them. Police stop Millie, claiming the car is stolen. Andrew arrives, resolves it, and brings her home. Andrew assures her it's not her fault. Nina is unstable again. Nina confronts them, saying she knows what happened at the hotel and threatens to fire Millie and send her back to prison. Andrew angrily tells Nina to leave. Millie starts packing, but Nina slaps her and storms out crying. Andrew and Millie grow closer and romantic. Days later, Millie cooks breakfast using Evelyn's heirloom dishes. She spots Enzo at the window, startles, and breaks one. Andrew fires Enzo. Millie apologizes. Andrew says it's fixable. Next day, Andrew finds broken pieces in a bag and scolds Millie for not cleaning them. She explains fear of cuts. Andrew leads Millie upstairs for intimacy, gives her alcohol laced with drugs. She passes out. When she wakes, the room's contents are gone. She calls Andrew. He refuses to open the door, punishment for breaking the heirloom. The scene shifts to Nina, happy outside the house, dancing freely in a hotel. Flashbacks show her tragic childhood. Parents died in a fire, foster care, college pregnancy by a teacher who abandoned her. She meets Andrew at work. He accepts her child, proposes, they marry. Post-marriage, Andrew obsesses over her uneven hair, sends her to the attic for perfection, forces her to pull hairs by the root repeatedly. He drugs her water. She wakes to Cecilia drowning in the tub. Police arrive with Andrew. Nina takes blame, spends 9 months institutionalized. Back home, she plots escape but knows Andrew's resources. She hires Millie, knowing her criminal past, to divert his attention. Enzo warns her it could endanger the girl. Nina fakes meds and uses clinic friends to avoid pregnancy. Back to present, Andrew sneaks in with a broken utensil shard, demands Millie make 21 cuts on herself as punishment. Flashback to Millie's crime. In college, defending a girl from harassment, she struck the attacker fatally. Millie runs out of water, makes cuts desperately. She finds a hidden knife placed by Nina. Andrew demands the shard piece. Next night, Millie stabs his neck with the knife, locks him in. She searches for food, water downstairs, monitors via Andrew's phone camera. At the door, Andrew threatens her. Millie demands he extract his front tooth on camera. He refuses. She threatens gasoline. He complies. She says she'll return tomorrow. Nina and Cecilia dine out. Cecilia says they must save Millie. Nighttime, Nina arrives to free Millie but opens the door mistakenly. Millie yells not to. Andrew escapes, pushes Nina downstairs, chases Millie. Millie evades. Andrew tells Nina they can restart, catch Millie. Nina reveals his wealth business from his father. His mother is similar. Andrew moves to push Nina. Millie knocks him from behind. He falls fatally. Nina stages it as an accident, fell fixing the bulb. Police arrive, note knife marks. Help Nina officer knew Andrew. His sister suffered similarly. Next day, funeral. Evelyn taunts Nina. Nina realizes Andrew inherited the behavior. Millie says goodbye. Nina gives her a $100,000 check. Final scene. Millie interviews for another housemaid job. The woman says Nina recommended her. Millie sees scars on her hands, realizes she's in an abusive situation too. The movie ends there.